Yeah, we follow Mike and take you right up to Hahn and Humpty at noon today. Nice to have you with us. Bobby Valentine, former Mets and Red Sox manager, current AD at Sacred Heart University. Right now, they're touring the country with this 17 and under team. Read the article yesterday. That's going to be a lot of fun. That's a win-win for everybody right there, and that's a life changer. And I think that's what Bobby V was quoted saying. And he joins us here on Big Board Sports for a few minutes this morning. Bobby V, Rodger Weiland. Good morning.
Good morning, Raj. How are you, man?
I'm good, Bobby. Thanks for a few minutes. Appreciate it. And let's start there, right? I mean, this little tour of the country with this 17 and under team, how much fun has that been for all parties involved?
Well, for all parties, I hope it has been as much fun and as educational as it has been for me. I haven't been with young kids in a long time, and we've been in Orlando, Florida, and Jupiter, Florida, and South Carolina, Myrtle Beach, and Charleston, South Carolina, and we're just leaving here, wherever the heck we are, in Georgia, and we're on our way to North Carolina. The kids have been able to see universities that I'm sure they never would have been able to see. They're playing competition they probably never would have had in their local areas, and they've had me hanging out with them, so they're getting a little of that stuff too. I've also had Tom Paciorek, a major leaguer for 20 years, who was my first roommate ever, traveling with us a while, and my third base coach from Boston, Jerry Royster, was with us for 3 weeks. So there was a lot for the kids to learn if they were listening or watching, and hopefully it all got done.
And it looks like, at least last check, the win-loss record was pretty good too, Bobby.
Yeah, they won 25 games or so. They lost a few, and that's a good thing.
All right, let's get to the Hall of Fame here this weekend as Mike Piazza gets set to enter the Hall. What do you remember about being his manager, and what made Piazza so good, Bobby?
Well, Mike had special determination. He was driven from the word go. He worked as hard as anyone and had a great deal of pride. You have to remember, this wasn't an all-star traveling around the country when he was 16 and 17. He was a guy who went to a junior college and was not drafted out of high school and had to work his butt off just to get his name known in the minor leagues with the Dodgers. And, that work ethic permeated his entire career, and his desire to be great has driven him to the Hall of Fame.
Bobby, among the signature moments in Piazza's career has to be the home run he hit in the first game back after 9/11 at Shea Stadium against the Braves. What do you remember about that moment? What was the environment like? Take us inside Shea Stadium at that moment.
Well, I'll tell you what, the environment was surreal. It was like nothing I had ever experienced in my life, because there were 45,000 people coming to a professional event in New York City, and no one had any idea what to expect. They didn't know if it was going to be okay to smile, or okay to cheer. They didn't know with the security and the surveillance that was going on in the stadium. I mean, at every entrance there were dogs and uniformed personnel, which has become more standard operational in today's world. But back in 2001, that was something new for people to see. So, we tried to put on the happy face, even though there was fear in all of our hearts. That horrific attack had just happened right down the street from where we're playing a baseball game. The airport and planes taking off over our stadium had an ever-presence. So it was surreal and I would say anxious until Mike struck that ball and propelled it into the camera stand. Once that crack of the bat was heard and the flight of the ball was seen, I think there was an entire change in that stadium, and I think that there might have been the beginning of a lot of change in people's hearts and minds who were watching the game also.
Well said. Bobby Valentine with us here on Big Board Sports. How about some thoughts on the other inductee on Sunday, and that would be Ken Griffey Jr., Bobby?
From day one, he was a little different than Mike in that he was the pedigree. I remember I was with the Texas Rangers managing when he signed, and they brought this high school kid out to take batting practice at the Kingdome. And, you know, my guys were struggling to hit the ball into the first bleacher set at the Kingdome, and he was hitting him in the upper deck. He was a 17-year-old phenom that was destined to get to the Hall of Fame. And I'm happy and proud to say that I know him. I managed against him. I loved every minute that he played, except for those minutes that he beat my team.
Hey, Bobby, we had Desi Relaford on this show about this time yesterday, and we have to ask you if you really considered using him on the mound the second time.
As a matter of fact, Desi, one of my favorites, all-time favorites, a guy who would do anything for a team and anything for a manager. I appreciated that, and yeah, I would have put him out there. I was thinking about starting him one game. He had such great stuff.
Bobby, what do you think about the state of the game right now? We hear a lot of people who, Bryce Harper wants to make the game fun again. Joe Girardi wants the defensive shift taken away. What do you think about the game right now?
Well, I think that we're at a bit of a crossroads with great opportunity. I think we have fine leadership that has to seize the opportunity and listen and see. I think that they're watching, but they're not seeing. I think they're hearing, but they're not listening. I think that there's a new age that is approaching us all around the world, and baseball needs to jump into that, and they have to, without a doubt, get away from this idea that it can't be enjoyable, that you can't show emotion on the field, that you can't exist in that team environment as an individual, because the people I'm traveling around with, these future major leaguers, they watch highlights. They don't watch games, and the highlights need to be entertaining. If all you're doing is watching the same swing and the same pitch and the same fly ball being caught in the outfield, even someone who has the extreme love of the game, such as myself, wants more.
With Bobby Valentine, who's been and still is the athletic director at Sacred Heart. How's that gone for you, Bobby? Have you enjoyed that transition? Have you enjoyed your time as the athletic director?
Thanks, guys. Yeah, I've enjoyed it immensely. Only because I've been lucky to get with a great staff who know, enjoy, and work within the NC2A environment as well as any university, I think, in the country. And we have a group of 800 student athletes who somehow, some way, get up at 5:30 in the morning, go to bed at 10 o'clock at night, get the cumulative 3.3 GPA, lead the conference in community service, and win championships. So I'm a lucky guy to be around such special people.
Well, Bobby, we appreciate a few minutes here. How many more games do you have left on your tour?
Well, we have 10 games left. We're hoping to win 2 more championships, and then I'll be back to the mundane life of Bobby Valentine without 16-year-olds.
Well, listen, we appreciate a few minutes, and it was great seeing you a couple of weeks ago. Maybe it's been a couple of months. You were up in Amsterdam, and I know that community enjoyed having you up there, and we had the TV cameras rolling. So we appreciate everything you do when you are back in the capital region.
You guys do a great job. Appreciate being with you today.
Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate it, Bobby Valentine.